Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Coach's Corner, where I, Coach Furtado, share my experience from the week and everything that I am learning under the sun about youth sports. But today I'm going to do kind of a special episode. I apologize for not getting an episode out. I decided, I'm going to take vacation on last week and just really fully take off, the creation mode. So we back, baby. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe here if you're on YouTube or Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Share it with a friend. That's how we grow. That's how we impact more people in the next generation. So let's get right to it. I want to share my experience about how I got to where I am today, and really in hopes of inspiring you to help you recognize how each experience kind of lays on itself, whether it's a good, a challenging one or not. It will lead you to your next experience. So, obviously, I've long story short, I played sports growing up in high school, right? So we're going to keep that as, background, backstory, understanding. But the first really big domino, I feel like, that really affected where I am in my life experience is I went on a backpacking trip with my buddies after I graduated from high school. And so keep in mind, I grew up in Humboldt County, so I had a deep appreciation for nature. I loved being outside, but my family was not a bunch of campers, or we definitely weren't backpackers. And I think that's actually partially was because when I was a kid, I was bored from camping, but as you get older, you appreciate nature a little bit more. Nonetheless, going on that backpacking trip was one of the most grueling and challenging experiences of my life. I remember the first day we were hiking up, and it was 7 miles just straight uphill, and we had to do some off-roading because we went in late June, so there was still snowpack, and it was gnarly. It was super gnarly. So I remember getting up to the top and where we were camping out, and I would never after being an athlete for all those years and putting in timeless hours of work, I was never more exhausted than I was right there, just because I was mentally exhausted because I was so out of my comfort zone, and also physically exhausted because I'd never gone on a 7-mile journey just of straight uphill. That was a grueling battle. And then, the first couple of nights I was there, I was just longing for my bed and to be home. So, it was really challenging, but by the last day, I really enjoyed it. Did I miss having a good meal? Yes, of course. I was ready to go home and shower and all that, but I really grew a deep appreciation for being outside, even deeper appreciation, just because you're so connected when you're out there backpacking and you really have nothing but your buddies in the environment and the nature. So that was wonderful, and that gave me the confidence to then go into my income freshman year. Before I went, when I was doing the duck days or whatever, the orientation, I had the confidence to go to the Holden Center, the Leadership for Community Engagement, and, say, hey, I want to do this backpacking trip. And, I had an opportunity to do, WILDS program, Wilderness Institute for Leadership and Development. And that's where my leadership journey in college just really kicked off. And I did this program called Duck Corps. And Duck Corps is where the first time I volunteered at the Boys and Girls Club. And I really had the aha moment. We went every week, and I just really enjoyed working with the kids. They gave me a lot of energy. And I was like, I think there's something to this, just being a positive role model. And so, I decided to apply for being work at the Boys and Girls Club locally in Humboldt County. And I did that for a summer. And so after working there for a summer, I decided I wanted to keep doing it. So I applied back at Boys and Girls Club of Emerald Valley in Eugene. And so, with that, boom. I ended up working on and off at the Boys and Girls Club of Emerald Valley for 4 years in multiple different roles, as, obviously working as staff, working as an intern, as a volunteer. And that's where I got my coaching journey started. From a coaching class, I was inspired, and I had an opportunity to just teach a basketball program. I had a lot of fun. I didn't think anything of, eventually being a basketball coach or nothing. I just was having a good time. And, one thing leads to the next. I ended up, coaching some kids sports teams in Eugene, Oregon. And that was a lot of fun, coaching those middle school teams. So, I went from Boys and Girls Club to kids sports, but none of it would have happened without that backpacking experience unlocking doors. So after, the kids sports experience, after, being, graduating from being a senior at University of Oregon, I didn't really know what to do because I was in the middle of the pandemic. There wasn't a lot of job opportunities. There was just a lot of bits of uncertainty. I had a I had a job, interview scheduled at one of my like favorite like smoothie bowl places called Vitality Bowls, and it was canceled because of the wildfires. And so, I unfortunately didn't get that interview, but that led me, like, I needed a job. I just needed to do something. So I went back to the Boys and Girls Club, and, they offered me, like, at first I was just going to be a sub. And then they offered me, like, before that he could even, finish giving me the job offer, I just said, yes, like, yes, please. I need a job. And I had no idea who I was working with. I was working with first and second graders, and at the time, I think middle schoolers were more my jam. And honestly, that's like a lot of my speed is not like, I really like working with the middle school, high school age. That's such an impressionable and important time. But, I learned so much in it. Working with first and second graders, man, there were so many days where I want to beat my head against the wall. And like, it was very, very challenging because I didn't know how to be a teacher, right? Like that's kind of the roles we were in. I didn't know how to be a first and second grade teacher and teach them how to line up. But, I'm so thankful for that experience because now I do know. And now and that led me to where I am today with Royal Basketball School for the past year, and like really able to connect with kids. And I've learned so many like teaching and connecting opportunities that I would have never, ever learned if I wasn't, working with first and second graders. So it was just so amazing to see how that experience later on itself to now coach at, Royal. And when I first got here to LA, there's no way I did not think I was going to be working with, and coaching for a living. Like that's literally all I do. I mean, I have administrative tasks that I do as well, but it's for a company that coaches and works with youth. So I couldn't be more grateful for every experience that layers onto itself. And I, of course I skimmed over some of my other experiences that really influenced and shaped me. But, I know y'all want to hear, the layers, right? Like, so it went from backpacking experience with the Holden Center to Duck Corps to Boys and Girls Club to Kids Sports to back to Boys and Girls Club to Royal to now where I am. And I'm now, in conversations and in the process of starting my own youth sports kind of training business. And whether it's basketball, it's very early on, but I just know like I have a little bit of entrepreneurship in me, for those that have been following me since Better World Challenge, since Impact. I feel very confident in my abilities to now, start a youth sports business. I've been around it for a year. I've been really around youth for 5 years. I understand a lot of the needs and a lot of, I've been also part of Bridging Impact. I'm talking to so many different coaches about the challenges, about, the youth sports industry in general, and what's really most important about youth sports. Like most kids aren't going to, play for scholarships, right? So most kids are going to be playing youth sports pretty much just for fun and for the life lessons of it. So I really understand that. And so I'm really excited to, begin this journey of building not my own, but building a brand, Bridging Impact for the next generation of youth. And, the reason I want to do it is because I feel like I have been put on this earth to do that, to create something. Like I've been putting in so much entrepreneurship and creatorship that just hasn't really panned out because I've been doing different things. And now I'm kind of like marrying, my passion and my like ability and skill. Like I feel like to work with youth. And, I'm by no means am I perfect with working with youth, but I really, really enjoy it. And I really do feel like I am very effective about how I develop. And I just really love developing young humans and watching them grow. It's like literally one of my favorite things in the entire world. So I'm super, super thrilled. So I share all that with you to, understand that like everything doesn't make sense right now. Like, I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years. Me saying this to the camera, who knows? I may end up pivoting the journey into speaking or whatever it may be, but the experiences I'm going through right now are going to lead me to the next one. So I want you to think about right now, how can you maximize the experience, number one, that you're in right now? What are the questions? Like, where do you want to go? Like, who are the people that you should contact with? Because I've had a ton of amazing mentors. And like, I probably can, maybe that's what I'll create next, is like a podcast on mentorship, how much that has helped me and the people around me in my life, how much they have helped me. Cause you need a team of people when you want to like live out your dreams and go from leadership experience to leadership experience, and really like culminating it all, like having the right people guiding you along the way. You don't have to listen, to every bit of advice, but you can always take a nugget. You can always take supportive people who have done it before you to keep going. I'm really grateful, and I'm really grateful for you, the listener, and that listens to this. Like, the fact that you take your time out of the day, like that's what makes my day. I want to share this. I want to pass this on, because at the end of the day, all I want to do is impact the next generation. And I find that youth sports is one of the vehicles that I have an opportunity to do that through. So I'm very excited to start, a business. So, we can talk nuts and bolts if you're interested. I don't really want to, put all that out there. To be honest, I'm figuring it out, and I'm a big believer in transparency and how I run and how I lead, and explaining a lot of, why I make certain decisions. But with that, I really just appreciate y'all. And so I'll be in your eyes and ears next week. And I'm thinking about maybe creating some content around mentorship. Please reach out to me about if you have any questions about any ideas you want me to make content about. Like, that's what it's all about. I'm trying to be a servant leader here as a podcaster. So again, appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful weekend. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. That's how we grow the impact for the next generation. Much love, y'all. Coach Furtado out.